This week on WestfordCAT News, the senseless slaying of 6 Asian women spurred a rally on March 21st. Select Board members and the superintendent stood up in support.
We condemn hatred of any kind and the targeting of any individual based on their race, ethnicity, nationality, religion, sexual orientation, or gender identity.
And COVID-19 still has a grip on us. I'm Joyce Polino Crane. Stay with us. WestfordCAT News is next. A rally to show support for the Asian community in Westford drew a crowd of protesters to Littleton Road on March 21st. Stop Asian Hate was the message that appeared on almost every sign. The rally was a reaction to the March 16th killings in Atlanta and Acworth, Georgia, of 8 people, including 6 Asian American women. Robert Aaron Long is believed to be the alleged shooter. It's not clear whether Long's actions met the threshold of a hate crime, but the ethnicity of most of the victims was noticed by other Asian Americans. 2 days earlier, on March 19th, Superintendent Bill Olson had released an open letter to the school community saying, in part, there continues to be a disturbing and unacceptable nationwide increase in racial bias and violence towards our Asian friends, neighbors, and colleagues. Please know that everyone in Westford Public Schools stands firmly with the Asian community. School committee member Ming Kwang Zeng expressed his gratitude for the support given to the Asian American community in Westford.
I want to actually first thank Superintendent Olson for standing firmly behind Asian Americans, given the increasing violence and attacks. And then last Friday's statement is really helpful. There was actually a very well attended rally yesterday to raise awareness on this issue. Well, there are a lot of Asian Americans and also WA students, community leaders, and members attending. I would like to actually extend a sincere appreciation from our community.
To watch the entire school committee meeting on demand, visit WestfordCAT.org. Supported by her fellow board members, Chair Andrea Perriner-Sweet published a statement on March 23rd condemning assaults and other crimes against Asian Americans.
The Select Board stands in solidarity with our AAPI community. We condemn hatred of any kind and the targeting of any individual based on their race, ethnicity, nationality, religion, sexual orientation, or gender identity. We remain committed to combating hatred and discrimination in any and all of its forms. We remain committed to ensuring that Westford is a community that is inclusive, safe, accepting, and that provides equitable treatment for all.
Select Board members also said goodbye to the town's Highway Department Superintendent, Chip Barrett, who is retiring after more than 40 years as a town employee.
Chip started as a call firefighter in 1977, a position that he held until 2005. From 1979 to 1981, he was a heavy equipment operator at the Highway Department. From 1984 to 1995, he was an intermittent police officer with the Westford Police Department. He was twice elected to Water Commissioner from 1986 to 1991. And in 1991, and for the next 30 years, Chip has served as our Highway Superintendent. It should be noted that at the time Chip started as a highway superintendent, there were approximately 75 miles of accepted roads in Westford. Today, there is more than double that mileage of roads in Westford. In addition, CHIP is currently responsible for 4 dams, 5,000 sewer, water and catchment basins, 4 dams, as I said, and 11 bridges. But CHIP's responsibilities really don't just stop with the highway department. Along the way, in 2009, he became our tree warden, and CHIP has always been ready to lend a helping hand to anyone, to any department, to any organization that asked. From assisting to opening the community gardens, to the maintenance of the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, to setting up and coordinating our brush removal programs, to helping the Friends of East Boston camps, to simply responding to requests from residents that he might meet along the way when he is out patrolling our roads. Throughout his career, Chip has been a member of the American Public Works Association, and in 2017, he was awarded the Professional Manager of the Year. He was recognized for his leadership, his commitment to the public works, and his commitment to his community. He was also recognized for his ongoing commitment to emergency response. I am sure that many of us have stories about Chip during emergencies, whether they be snow emergencies, whether they be responding to ice storms, trail derailments, or hurricanes. Chip was always there and ready to respond. Perhaps, Chip, your lasting legacy will be the condition of our roads throughout your tenure.
Thank you very much. And I must say, I chose the lighting in my office here because I'm very humble and you might not see the big guy have a little tear. But it's been with mixed emotions. It's been a long time. Going to spend some time with my family. I truly appreciate the nice things that everybody said. It's been my humble pleasure to serve the people of the town of Westford.
To watch the entire Select Board meeting, visit WestfordCAT.org. Health Director Jeff Stevens is keeping a watchful eye on the number of COVID cases there are in town. Here he gives Production Coordinator Patty Stocker the latest numbers in Westford.
With Phase 4 of the Commonwealth's reopening having started on March 22nd, and with the number of COVID-19 cases once again on the rise in Westford, I spoke with Westford Health Director Jeff Stevens to get some local insight. Restrictions have become more lenient, but it doesn't mean that people should not remain diligent in keeping safe.
So there are some definite positive changes forward in heading back to what the governor called our new normal. But within that, I can tell locally concerned about a certain few things. We are seeing a slight uptick in our COVID numbers once again. Mm-hmm. And when I say slight, it is slight. We're seeing 3 to 4 to 5 more cases a week than we were just a few weeks ago. And that trend hasn't stopped going up yet. What I'm hoping for is that trend will plateau and hit its peak far sooner than we did in the months of January and early February. That's when we saw our biggest numbers, and we were working with contact tracers sometimes up to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, keeping in front of that, trying to make sure people understood that they were being notified. We don't want to be back there. So what I think is really important, as great as it is that we are overall in the state seeing lower numbers and they are not climbing as fast locally, that's not the case. Mm-hmm. We are seeing a slight uptick, which means people still need to pay attention to what they're doing and sticking to the big 3 of washing your hands, socially distancing, and wearing your masks.
As a new group of state's residents become eligible to receive the vaccine as of March 22nd, those 60 and over, as well as a new list of essential workers, Stevens acknowledged that finding a vaccination site to administer the shots can be challenging.
There's no doubt that there are more people that want vaccine than there are vaccines available right now. That's been the case since day one. And until more vaccines come online in larger quantities, that's going to be the case. Every week, the state will get a certain allotment. That many more appointments will be placed into the state mass vac sites. And additionally, the places such as the CVSs and the pharmacies that also are able to vaccinate will get their allotment, and they will be able to open up appointments as that goes as well. My advice to anybody who is looking to get vaccinated at this point is to look on any of the local sites, such as your CVS or Walgreens or pharmacy websites, and continue to work at looking at the state mass vac sites on when appointments open up. I hear people all the time that are getting appointments, so I know it's happening, but it may be frustrating if you get on and you're finding out that you're not able to do it this week.
Watch the entire interview at westfordcat.org. For WestfordCAT, I'm Patty Stalker.
COVID-19 seems to have taken its toll on everyone. Board of Health member and Stony Brook school nurse Sue Hanley is passionate about social and emotional mental health issues. I sat down with her recently to ask how our youngest and oldest students are handling the pandemic and how it has affected our social norms.
And I had a conversation with a parent not that long ago. It's a big school avoidance issue, and the parents were considering homeschooling. And I said, that would be the biggest, if you ask me, would be the biggest disservice you could give your son. And I said, do you want your child to live at home for the rest of his life? Because that's, and I'm sure all of us out here know people. I mean, I know some adults who are still living in their parents' home that are not able to function. I mean, and that's certainly a mental health issue. But again, it takes us at this point in time to make sure we're giving them the skills and the tools they need, and making and doing everything for them or trying to figure it out for them is not giving them the tools and the skills they need. It's just not.
To watch the entire interview, visit westfordcat.org. That's it for now, Westford. We hope you have a great weekend and week ahead. I'm Joyce Polino Crane, and you're watching WestfordCAT News.